My name is David Walker, and I'm a management major here at Memphis. I'll be graduating in May. And I was just going to talk specifically about my internship. Nadian will tell more about what Cascades does and what we produce. But how the internship started was my junior year. I decided I wanted to try to take an internship, and I started attending job fairs and just different networking events. And that's when I went to the internship expo, and I got to run into Miss Tuberville, and she was nice enough to kind of walk around with me and introduce me to employers and just teach me how to network. And she invited me to join SHRM, and I did. And then she told me to go to the internship office and meet up with her, and she'll to talk about internships further. So I did the next week, and she plugged me up to e-recruiting, and so I started looking at internships there, and she told me that there's a possibility about Cascades was going to start an internship. So I said I was very interested. I left a resume, and a few weeks later I got an interview, and the very next week I got the job. And I was just going to talk about some of my responsibilities. Being an HR intern, there's a lot of responsibilities, and some, just to name a few, I record and post the weekly schedule. And this is for hourly workers. Every Wednesday it has to be posted, and I update like vacation days and things like that. And one big job I have is organizing and auditing employee files, which for the SOX audit. And this is, I have to make sure that everything is, all the compliances are there and accounted for, and that we're not missing any forms in their personal files. And so I've been checking all those off. And also, I researched and scheduled a smoking cessation class. Cascades is going tobacco-free in March, and we wanted to give the employees a chance to try to quit smoking and quit chewing tobacco. So I found some nurses that are here in Memphis, and they were nice enough to come, and we're in about our third week of the program, and they meet every Monday. My favorite part of my internship has been recruiting. I love that part. It's one of my biggest jobs is I'm screening resumes constantly, and the ones that I feel that fit the criteria for our work, I send up to a supervisor, who then screens them again and sends them back to me. And then I contact those people for assessments, and then depending on how well they do on the assessment, I give them a call back for an interview, and then depending on how that goes, they'll get a job offer. And I wanted to close with the courses that I've taken here at the U of M that's helped me in my internship. My favorite course I've ever taken was Intro to Human Resources. I had it with Dr. Pierce, and it taught me a lot about just Sarbanes-Oxley requirements, and that's a big part of my job, and just about labor unions, rules that apply to there, and just recruitment. It was just a good general idea of what HR truly was. Business communications is a must. I'm constantly on the phone with candidates, and when I was doing the smoking cessation, and I do presentations with the supervisors of Cascades. Human resource selection really helped me with just the recruitment side of it, just trying to decipher, what makes a candidate stand out from another. And MIS is huge because this day and age you need Excel. I'm on Excel constantly for the scheduling, and just everything I do involves Excel in some way. And now I'm going to turn it over to Nadian, and she's going to tell you about Cascades.
Hello everyone, I am Nadian Chavez, the HR manager for Cascades Tissue Group. For those of you that are unfamiliar with who Cascades are and what they do, we're actually the 4th largest tissue manufacturer in the United States. We're #1 in Canada. We recycle tissue products, so we're 100% recycled, and we're a green company. It is an international company, and it is huge. It is $4 billion revenue per year. And with that being said, we have many employees at many different facilities within the United States. The reason why we decided to partner up with University of Memphis is because a lot of our senior management are close to a retirement age. And in order to fill that gap for succession planning, we did decide that we had a mandate to really focus on internships this year. With that being said, I contacted Mrs. Tuberville through a networking event with the Breakfast Club. So this is why networking is so important. And her and I touched base last October, and we decided, I pretty much explained my needs to her, and she agreed that she could help me out. Shortly after that, we scheduled interviews. I was so impressed, I can't tell you, with the candidates that I got for this internship. It was such a tough call. I'll tell you, as an employer, what I look for, I'm not looking for a ton of experience, because I figure you're all college students and trying to get in the door. You probably won't have too much experience. So what I do look for is a GPA. Anything above a 3.0 is fair to me. And I also look for any volunteer experience, any leadership experience that you've had, whether through teams. You can list coaches, you know, were you a coach, were you a team leader for a group project. In addition to that, I also look for coursework. So what really impressed me with David was that he had a ton of HR coursework under his belt, along with a very strong GPA, and his interview was amazing. He had practiced with Ms. Tuberville before, so I was quite impressed with David. So pretty much what I just highly recommend is for you to go out there, network. A little bit about my experience and how I got started was very similar to David's path. I started off at, with an internship with a state agency. They recruited me, again, they looked at my GPA and they looked at my coursework, and I started off in the recruiting department for this huge state agency. Shortly after that, upon graduation, I decided, you know, I need a job, I need to start applying to jobs. So then I applied to Cascades, and Cascades hired me, and they did say, had it not been for that internship, we probably wouldn't have even looked at you. I had a full year internship focused on my major, and that hit the mark right there. I then proceeded with a 2-year traineeship program, HR traineeship program, and shortly after that, I got transferred and relocated here to Memphis a couple of years ago as an HR manager. So Cascades believes in promoting quickly. We believe in coaching, and we really believe in you all to be the next, you know, predecessors. So that's kind of my history, and I guess that's all I have. So thank you.